Okay. Since he didn't get to use his PowerPoint, I'm not going to use mine either. I want you to do a thought experiment. It's still not with me, though. I want you to pretend it's 2015. And I want you to pretend that someone came to you and said, we can recruit a company right here in the Rio Grande Valley. This company will, over the next 10 years, have a value of about $1 billion. That would be the company's value. We'll have an annual budget of about $800 million. We'll employ 7,000 people. We'll build $800 million worth of construction across the valley with $400 million more in the pipeline. Would you have welcomed that company?
Yes.
You did. It was UTRGV. And that's exactly what is happening in the last 10 years. Think about that investment. You don't often think of universities as businesses, but we are. And that kind of investment transformed the valley. We've got construction projects from Port Isabel to, actually we have one in South Padre Island too, up through Edinburgh. We have projects in Mission. We have projects in Rio Grande City. And if you think about it, what we have done is employ people all over the valley. We've added about 2,000 people to our payrolls. And by the way, we also generate $100 million in R&D. Now, here's the thing about our business that differentiates it from many others. Any revenue we generate stays right here in the valley, right? We don't send any of it to Dallas. We don't send anything to Austin or Philadelphia. It's all money that stays right here. It's people who have great insurance, who have great jobs. These construction jobs for everybody. By the way, we're running out of construction companies. You try hard. You know, we've got so much going on in the Rio Grande Valley now, that's kind of slowing down construction. So think about that. So what you did when you welcomed UTRGV here 10 years ago, and by the way, my 11th anniversary here, July 1st, best 11 years of my life. Hey, I never knew I'd have it so good anywhere it's in the valley. But that's what's happened over 10 years. If I told you that this is going to be a higher education institution, and that over a 10-year period, we graduate over 60,000 students, that 90% of our undergraduates, full-time undergraduates, would pay no tuition or mandatory fees. That's right. That's not our figures, they're UT system figures. 90% of the undergraduates, no tuition, no mandatory fees, right? And then what if I told you that this university would produce graduates who had the lowest debt load by a long way in the state of Texas and the third lowest in the United States? What would you have said about that? Yeah. We can't get past the City University of New York because they have city tax support City University of New York, and we can't get by Brigham Young. They have a lot of money too. But the people we can't get past have a ton of money. But think about that. Our students graduate with no debt, very little debt. They graduate, many of them pay no tuition or mandatory fees. And then what if I told you that this university is going to add a remarkable set of programs for workforce? 2016 MD program. How many of your friends, children, your children have gone on to get doctorate degrees, MD degrees from UTRGV? You had to go to Houston or San Antonio. Not anymore. And then what happened in 2022? We added a doctorate of podiatric medicine, the only one in the state of Texas. You think that's important? What about all the diabetes in the valley? Think about it. We have also added doctors in nursing practice. We have a physician assistance program. You know, who do you see when you go to the doctorate? So the doctor, the nurse, the nurse practitioner or the physician assistant. We produce those people. They're the people you see. Then what if I told you that we'd be starting up a doctorate in physical therapy that starts this August? Many of your kids will be in that, and a doctorate in optometry. in 2027. Think about it. A full range of health-related programs you can get right here in the Rio Grande Valley. Those are all, yes. And do we need those folks? Yeah, we're medically underserved in all of those areas. We'll produce our own workforce right down here. People who love the valley, want to stay in the valley, want to treat folks in the valley. They'll be right here coming out of UTRGV, and they'll be your children. And then what if I told you we'd have a set of scholarships called Luminary Scholarships? We'd recruit the best students from high school. We'd give them a full ride all the way through. We would pre-admit them to the professional program of their choice, like medical school, right? And then what if I told you if they graduated and met all those benchmarks, all the benchmarks they had to meet, that they would get a free medical education on top of that? That's what Luminary Scholarships do. Now, there's a catch in that. There's catch in that program. And we put this catch in there on top. It's all on purpose. If you get a Luminary Scholarship, here's what you commit to. When you graduate, you commit to live and work in the Rio Grande Valley the number of years we supported you. Think about that. You know, if these kids stay down here for 4 or 5 years, if you're a doctor, you're going to get into practice, you're probably going to stay here your entire career. You're going to raise your family here in the valley. And you're going to make this a great place to live. That's what UTRGV is about. We're a university, thank you. Anchored within the values of the Rio Grande Valley. When I came here, I thought I've never lived in a place where the values of the people were better. Everybody here works hard. Hard work is one of our great values. Think about that. We love our families. We have big families. You know, Val, my wife, she had 5 kids. I had 2. We already have 13 grandkids. I don't know. If I could remember all the names in a few years, I'll be doing good. You know, think of, that's the valley. We love our family. And UTRGV wants to be a family and be family oriented. Think about that. We're all about gratitude. People are grateful for opportunities that they have. And that's what we do at UTRGV. And we're all about opportunity. If you can build your university in that way, anchor it in what the people of the Rio Grande Valley find important, you can become a national model. And that's really what we're doing. So I want to thank all of you for your support. The last 10 years have been really wonderful here. The next 10 years are going to be better. August 30th, we celebrate our 10th anniversary as a university. You know what else we do on August 30th? Football, right? We kick off football. Yeah. And that will also transform the university in the valley as well. Thank you. I appreciate your inviting me here. And thank you for 10 wonderful years in the Rio Grande Valley.